What's going on, everybody? RJ Ochoa here from SB Nation's bloggingtheboys.com. We hope all is well wherever you are. We hope you're happy, safe, healthy, and we know that you are ready to see the Dallas Cowboys get their first win of the season. America's team, of course, 0-1 on the year after Week 1's loss to the Los Angeles Rams, and it will be a bit of a desperation game. You know, these always make for some interesting contests across the NFL when you have two 0-1 teams that are both expected to compete on the year because nobody wants to fall to 0-2. You're going to hear all throughout the broadcast about teams that have started off 0-2, how it's not something that is ever really come back from, the percentages of teams that make the playoffs after starting 0-2, and you can bet your bottom dollar that somebody's going to tell you on the television broadcast, either in the pregame or during the game, that the 1993 Dallas Cowboys were the first team in NFL history to start off 0-2 and win the Super Bowl. But hopefully these Cowboys avoid that start because we need to see them get to 1-1, but the Falcons stand in their way. As mentioned, Atlanta is 0-1. They lost in Week 1 to the Cowboys' Week 3 opponent, the Seattle Seahawks. Seattle looks like they could be the best team in the NFC, but that is a conversation that we will have next week. In Week 2, we are, of course, focusing on Matt Ryan, Julio Jones, Calvin Ridley, because they're an offense that can do a lot. Matt Ryan threw for 450 yards last week, although a lot of it was garbage time, isn't necessarily meaningful, but it is still the number that he ultimately hit. We know that Matt Ryan can put up big numbers. We know that Julio Jones is a player that can go up and get it. We know that Calvin Ridley is a great wide receiver in his own right. So can the Cowboys go shot for shot? We actually thought coming into the season that the Cowboys would play a lot of games like that potentially this year because we were told, we were at least led to believe, that the Cowboys would be more aggressive on defense. The Cowboys would be taking chances. And sometimes when you take chances, the other offense scores, and that's just the nature of taking chances, right? That's why they call it taking chances. We did not see that last week against the Los Angeles Rams. And we didn't see that because Sean McVay, their head coach, is really smart. He used a lot of pre-snap motion. He didn't have his quarterback, Jared Goff. He didn't really ask him to do a whole lot. And that's not meant as a slight against Jared Goff. It's just the facts of the matter. Sean McVay designed some offensive motions and things like that that set his quarterback up for success. Good for him. In fact, if you look at the motion used by NFL teams, the pre-snap motion that is, in Week 1, the Atlanta Falcons and Dallas Cowboys are both near the bottom. So are the New York Giants. Shout out to our old friend Jason Garrett. So you could theoretically see a bit of an archaic, a bit of an old school type of game this week, although hopefully that is not the case. Hopefully the Cowboys come prepared to do some modern age, some more 20th century type things. But hey, you know, anything is possible, to be fair. This is going to be a difficult game though, however the offense is going to be structured, because there are some serious injuries to be monitoring. On the Atlanta Falcons side of the ball, Jake Matthews, their starting tackle, who's one of the more underrated tackles in the game, I think, and a fighting Texas Aggie to boot. Jake Matthews is a bit of a question mark, and if he doesn't start in this game, if he doesn't play in this game, that is an opportunity for the Cowboys pass rush that didn't get a chance to show off their exotic blitzes and all that fun last week for the reasons as mentioned. It's a chance for Aldon Smith, DeMarcus Lawrence, Everson Griffin to get after Matt Ryan, and hopefully that is the case. On the Cowboys side of the ball, goodness gracious, there are injuries all over the place. We've been talking about this all week long here on the Blog on the Boys YouTube channel. Make sure you do subscribe so you get all of our fantastic content all throughout the season and in the offseason. There are no days off here. But the Cowboys are now without Lyle Collins, their starting right tackle. They're without Leighton Vanders, their starting linebacker. They're without Blake Jarwin, their starting tight end. They're down Cam Irving, one of their backup tackles. They are down in every conceivable way that you could possibly imagine. We even found out that Sean Lee, who was already on injured reserve, is going to miss 6 weeks, which is just a bigger kick in the gut after all of this is happening. It's Week 2. How do we have this many injuries going on with regards to the Cowboys? This is tough. And in fact, this is kind of where most NFL teams live and operate. It's where they have offensive lines that deal with injuries and are kind of average to good. They're not always great. As Cowboys fans, we've had it good. We've been living on easy street for a long time when it's come to the offensive line, but now we are seeing how the rest of the world lives, and well, it sucks. But this is going to be a challenge for whether it's Terrence Steele, whether it's whoever is playing right tackle for the Cowboys. We don't even know what the situation with Tyron Smith is. On Thursday, it was reported that Tyron missed practice due to a neck injury. It was reported by NFL Network's Shane Slater that both he and Amari Cooper, who was limited in practice himself, are expected to play. But those types of things are the things that, well, make you lose a little bit of sleep over the weekend that gets you to Sunday. So we will see what happens. Those are the things that are really going to decide this game. It sounds cliche, but those are big-time injuries. If the Cowboys have their full offensive staff as much as they can, given the players that are on injured reserve, they should win. In fact, I'm going to predict the Cowboys to win. Now, to be fair, I predicted the Cowboys to win last week, and I've got a whole lot of egg on my face. I like my eggs, by the way, over medium. Over easy is too weird for me. I don't like all that yolk everywhere. Over medium is where you got to live. If you haven't tried it, make sure you do. But either way, I'm picking the Cowboys to win. Last week I was really generous with how many points I thought they would score. This week I'm not going to go that far. I think it's more of a 27-17 game, 27-20, something like that. But I do think the Cowboys are the more desperate team simply because they had the larger expectations. But do not sleep on the Falcons. This is a team that battled back, as cliche as it sounds, for their head coach Dan Quinn last year. They clearly believe in him, they clearly support him, and they clearly are now aware, according to their defensive coordinator, that elite quarterbacks can pass the ball. So it doesn't seem like the Falcons are going to be banking on Zeke Elliott to do the whole thing. They are seemingly aware that Dak Prescott can get it done. Russell Wilson was allowed to cook. Maybe Dak Prescott will be allowed to cook. This is going to be a stressful game, and those are always fun. But the Cowboys have an opportunity here to kind of not announce themselves to the NFL, but they're going to be at home. They're going to be at AT&T Stadium. Mike McCarthy has hinted at several occasions that there's going to be about 25% capacity, which is about 20,000 fans in that building. This is an opportunity to kind of, say week one, man, there's no preseason. Everything was weird. Let's do it right. Let's do it the 2020 thing. Let's get to 1-1, and we'll figure out the Seattle Seahawks thing a week from now. I'm picking the Cowboys. I hope you are too. I hope it's a lot of fun. I hope wherever you're watching, I hope it's really just the best time ever. I hope you have some great food. I hope whatever you got going on between now and then works out. I hope the Cowboys win, and I hope we're sitting here on Monday with our victory polos on, and we're having a good time, and we're getting ready to head to 2-1. Make sure you check out bloggingtheboys.com for the latest and greatest in the world of the Dallas Cowboys. Of course, subscribe, again, right here to the official Blogging the Boys YouTube channel, and make sure while you're subscribing to stuff that you subscribe to the Blogging the Boys podcast network. We give you 2 episodes every single day. We give you episodes around the clock every 12 hours to make sure that you are caught up with all things going on in the world of the Dallas Cowboys. And if you want some stuff, you want some knowledge, you want some talk in terms of the whole league as a whole, subscribe to the SB Nation NFL show. You can hear from me, myself, of course, with Pete Sweeney from Arrowhead Pride and Michael Kist from Bleeding Green Nation every Monday on the appropriately titled Monday Football Monday as we discuss all the action that went down this Sunday before. But, hey, let's do it. Let's cross our fingers. Let's have some fun. Try those over medium eggs. You won't regret it. By the way, do me a favor. Have the best day of all time. You know why? Because you deserve it. We'll see you next time.